Cloud native is all about architecture, all about how you build it so it's much more flexible, so it allows for that infinite personalization and ability to connect things in a much bigger way. So that's the power of the cloud. And you can provide choice. You can have Redtail and Salesforce in one solution, right? If you're using things like MuleSoft, right, or other sort of systems that connect things, they're also horizontal. This gives you this niche that solves these complex problems.
So we're seeing three things in the industry, and it's because of one thing. So there's this new idea around advisor and client experiences, right? And that's, I think, the biggest challenge we're seeing is this idea around experiences, right? And what do we mean by that? We're talking about creating an advisor experience and a client experience, but that comes at three things. One, cost. Two, time. And three, integrations. I'm a terrible writer, but I think the point is being made. What we're seeing in the industry is a challenge. There's so much cost involved in connecting these dots. The time it takes to do it always creates a disappointment because it takes so long. And finally, there are so many integrations nowadays. How can we keep up? It's a total challenge. It's all driven by the advisor and client experience.
Great points, Tony. I really feel like there are two things that this industry can use. And one is automating the training of new advisor hires. So finding ways to really get them trained up faster. That's number one. Number two, finding ways to help the public really understand the value of financial planning above and beyond the investments. If we can solve those two things from technology, we're going to be legions ahead of where we are today.
We're all excited about the new concept that Oleg talked about in his keynote this morning with Invent.us. And you know, I was thinking about the fact that when an enterprise really steps up and decides that they want to do a rollout with a product like Riskalyze, the really interesting thing that we have to have a conversation about is how the enterprise is going to snap Riskalyze's process and workflows into the rest of what they do. And the challenge is, not trying to knock any of these great enterprises, but many of the wealth management enterprises out there have a lot of people working with them and they do not know how to spell API, okay? By the way, that's how it's spelled. And so, ultimately, like if you don't know how to spell API, it's going to be really hard to use it. And it's very interesting to think about how Invent.us is going to be able to create some standard ways to create connectivity, because what we all know is all these enterprises have a variety of different solutions that they use. They're going to have a financial planning tool, portfolio accounting, performance reporting, all the different aspects of advisor tech. And you want to take all of those different solutions and connect them up in a standard way so that the advisor gets a cohesive experience. And it's really interesting to see how Oleg's new company, Invent.us, is going to help these great enterprises spell API right every single time.